Hi guys, I'm Gasha. Welcome to the channel and welcome as always to our coffee times to discuss movies, horror movies. And today I'm here to talk to you about Halloween Ends.
It's coffee time.
Honestly, I was considering to wear my Halloween t-shirt today, but I thought that the movie just did not deserve it. And I don't know if they actually did this movie so bad on purpose so that we would all be happy that Halloween finally ended. So with that, you guys already know that I did not enjoy this movie and I'm here to talk to you about it. So I don't want to rant too much in this video, so I'm gonna try to get my points across. So we're going to start this movie review completely spoiler free, and I will leave my spoiler section at the very end of the video and I will give you a warning before the spoilers start. So let's go ahead and talk about Halloween Ends. I feel like Halloween Ends was a really expected movie. I personally really enjoyed the 2018 film and I was happy to see Michael and Laurie come back. To be honest with you guys, I feel like this was a really expected movie and I feel like for the most part people are just really disappointed because this is a very popular franchise that a lot of people have always really loved, including myself. I really enjoy the original Halloween. I rewatch it nearly every year for Halloween season. And I was excited about the new trilogy because it was going to, you know, just ignore all the sequels and it was going to be just based on the first Halloween movie. And the 2018 film, the 2018 Halloween, I really enjoyed. I was happy to see Michael back, Laurie back, and I was happy to see them fight. Halloween Kills was not as good, but I could still enjoy it. It was still entertaining to me and I enjoyed the kills a lot. Halloween Ends. I'm struggling to find things to redeem this film. Halloween Ends is the third film in the trilogy directed by David Gordon Green, and this is the 13th installment in the Halloween franchise. It started with Halloween from 2018 and then Halloween Kills, and it is supposed to follow the first film, Halloween from 1978. 4 years after her last encounter with masked killer Michael Myers, Laurie Strode is living with her granddaughter and trying to finish her memoir. Myers hasn't been seen since, and Laurie finally decides to liberate herself from rage and fear and embrace life. Something happens in the neighborhood and basically that kind of ignites all of those accusations, all of those persecutions, and evil seems to be back in Haddonfield. I'm trying not to spoil too much. The synopsis already spoils some things and I'm trying not to mention them in this video because I feel like it's better if you go into the movie without knowing way too much about the actual plot of this movie. Halloween Ends is barely a Halloween movie. Let me start with that. And you're not gonna see Michael at least like an hour into the film. And it is not just that. The movie was really messy. It was really all over the place. It was a hot mess. Let's just say it for what it is. And one of the biggest problems that I had with this movie is obviously the characters. The characters were always so important for Halloween. You know, Laurie and Michael Myers are really important and the way they behave, the way they act, the way they speak is really important. And if that doesn't really match the characters that we know, then there is a disconnect already that happens and it just makes the movie really awkward. Laurie is such a weird character in this movie. She changes opinion all the time. She doesn't feel like she knows what she's doing. She's just really weird and I just don't understand how they could portray Laurie like this. She's even fed some really ridiculous one-liners and I don't really know how Jamie Lee Curtis agreed to this. I don't know if she was forced contractually to be like, you have a contract, you have to do this, you already agreed to this film, this is the script, you have to go with it. I don't know, but I just cannot imagine that she was okay with this, because this is not the same character. I get it. It's been many years, 40, 45 years. I get it. People change. People act maybe a little bit differently. But this is just so against her character. And even the Laurie that we get contradicts herself and doesn't really know what she's doing, which is just so confusing to me as a viewer, because Laurie is such a determined survivor, final girl, strong-minded character, and now she doesn't even seem to know what she's doing. Michael Myers is a joke in this movie, and that is all I can say in the spoiler-free section of this video. For the rest, you're gonna have to wait until you can watch the spoilers if you've already seen the movie. Even Allison is completely out of character. I get that she's rebelling because she's been through a lot, and I can understand certain things, but the way that she acts is just so, again, awkward. It is just so against her character, and it's so dumb, and it's like, I don't know, it was just really frustrating to me to see these characters being like made, like portrayed so dumb. It was just really cringy. Like the things they were saying, the things they were doing, it was just cringe. And then there's another character that is important in the film that I cannot really talk to you guys about in this spoiler-free section, because I feel like it's better if I leave all my commentary about that character for the spoiler section. Listen, when the movie started, I actually was excited. There is something that happened at the beginning of the film that it's something that not all horror movies dare to do, and I kind of predicted it, because I said to my partner this is gonna happen, and then it happened, and I was shocked even though I had predicted it, because it's something that normally does not happen often in horror movies. And I was sold. I was like, this beginning is fantastic, I love it, and the credits were great. They were doing something kind of old school but turning it into modern with the pumpkins and the score, and I was really excited. I mean, up to that point I was sold on the movie. And then things started to go downhill. And rather than picking up after the last Halloween movie, this takes place 4 years later, which is also another big disconnect. And I don't know why they decided to do it like that. Not only that, but they open like with different characters. We don't really get to see much of Laurie and Michael yet. It's just another bunch of characters are being introduced. The cinematography and the score are kind of all in the same level that Halloween and Halloween Kills. There is some kind of, you know, redone John Carpenter music as well, which is always my favorite bits, not gonna lie. However, Halloween Ends, the editing, it's just not as good as the other films. It's just chunkier. It's just, this movie is really all over the place. I feel like they had an idea, they wanted to do something new and different instead of just following, you know, your regular tropes of slasher films, and they messed it up, because people were going to Halloween Ends to see the final battle, the final confrontation between Laurie and Michael. We're not here for you to experiment right now. This is not the movie for it. This is just not. So I feel like they had certain ideas and a concept, and it just did not translate at all, and it ended up all being a mess. It just feels like they just wrote something and they were like, yeah, let's just go with it, you know, we just don't want to even bother. I don't really know how this script got approved and people were like, this great, this good, this is gonna please everybody. Like, who thought this was a good idea? I don't really know. For me, it's just so lazy. But that's just my personal opinion. You know, I don't really like to bash on movies because I know there is a lot of time and effort put into films, and a lot of people have worked really hard to get this movie out, and I feel bad, you know, kind of ranting about it, but it was just not a good movie. There's also so many changes of the tone of the movie that were really frustrating to me. They were keeping me, like, I was all the time losing focus on the film. There is also problems with the lines that were fed to the characters. some of those lines were supposed to be funny, I guess, but they were not funny, and I just could not picture this character saying these things, and it was just starting to annoy me at some point. When it comes to the horror, there are some jump scares that were effective. You know, people jumped in the room. They didn't work for me because, you know, they're the typical jump scares that I already see coming, but they were effective on, you know, the viewers in general in the room. And my favorite thing about this movie was the gore. There was a little bit of gore. The body count is not as high as I would have expected from a final chapter in a trilogy, but there are a couple of really good effects. For the most part, the deaths were nothing new, nothing that I have not seen before. A couple were boring, but there is specifically one that I will talk about in my spoiler part that I really enjoyed, so I guess at least I got that. They've also clearly never seen a true crime documentary, because there were so many scenes that didn't make sense, that, you know, the killer was obviously leaving prints everywhere and they don't even care, and it was just so bizarre to me. They also tried to make nods to Halloween, but I was so upset I didn't care anymore. It even bothered me, certain things that they did. I will talk about it on the spoiler section. So let's go for my final thoughts before we talk spoilers. So my final thoughts are, this movie is all over the place. It was really messy. There was just no tension and the plot was really confusing. This is my best way of describing Halloween Ends. It's like the creative team just decided to do a different movie that was not Halloween. That's what happened, and then they just threw in there some Halloween stuff. That's actually what happened. So honestly, I cannot recommend you guys to spend your money and go watch this film. If you, like me, have an unlimited ticket or something for the movies and you can see it for free, go ahead. Be my guest. But I would not say this is a movie worth going to the cinema for, to be honest. Some people I know didn't even like Halloween Kills. If you're one of those people, don't even bother with Halloween Ends, because it is definitely much worse. This is probably the worst Halloween movie in the whole franchise. I think now that this one is out, I will probably rewatch everything and maybe do a ranking video. And I'm pretty sure this one's gonna end up at the very bottom. Now, Jason Blum has said that there is gonna be more Halloween movies. Duh. Whoever thought the franchise was gonna die here? I don't think so. But we shall see what kind of route they take. Alright, you guys. So, these were my thoughts. Completely spoiler free. Now I'm gonna move to the spoiler section. So if you have not watched the film, I do recommend you not to watch my spoiler section until you have seen it, because a lot of the things that I'm going to be talking about are going to spoil the movie for you, some reveals, and I'm obviously going to talk about the end of the film. So again, I'm gonna go now into spoilers. Let's talk first about our new character that is being introduced in this film, which is Corey. So Corey, when he's introduced, he was already a little bit weird and awkward to me, and he is basically a baby killer that at the beginning of the film has an accident and ends up killing the kid that he's babysitting. And this for me was a great scene. I loved it. Not many horror movies kill children, and it's not like I needed, but it was refreshing, and I kind of saw it coming because the kid was being so annoying. I could see why they could kill him off, you know. They would have a reason for the viewer to just accept it and not be like sad or mad about it, because the kid was really annoying. So after that, Corey is kind of like the pariah of the town. Everybody is accusing him of being a kid killer, and he is kind of being bullied by everybody, and we see him losing his humanity a little bit, and he starts to have this evil inside of him. So at the beginning I thought that they were going to turn Corey into the new Michael Myers, and that was going to be for maybe a setup for the next Halloween movies, but like not even that. He finds Michael Myers in the sewers. What the hell is Michael Myers doing in the sewers? And Michael Myers doesn't even kill him, which is completely out of character. Michael Myers kills everybody in front of him. He doesn't really leave people alive just cause, you know, for the good of his heart. So he befriends Michael Myers. They become BFFs. Corey and Michael go out and kill people together. They become a team. And I'm like, what is happening here? What is my life? And honestly, Michael just becomes this kind of joke, this kind of side character trying to teach Corey how to kill. Is like, what the hell? Like, who was high in that writing room? Now, I understand that Corey is supposed to be infected by Michael Myers' evil, and Allison starts a relationship with him, which was also super cringe. It's also really unbelievable, the whole relationship. Laurie introduces them. Like, I just can't. Like, Laurie finds this guy being bullied and thinks, I'm gonna introduce this guy that has been accused of killing a kid to my daughter because they're perfect for each other. 30 minutes later, she's like, no, don't date this guy. He has evil in his eyes. I've seen it. He's like Michael. Give me a break. It was just everything such a joke. And there is a scene where Laurie is looking through the window and she sees Corey like coming around a hedge from the neighbors, you know, like Michael Myers in the original Halloween. And it just bothered me. It's like, I was so mad at everything at this point. Like, I just didn't know what the hell they were going with. Like, I didn't comprehend still, I guess, how bad this movie was gonna get. For me, the best scene was the kill of the DJ. I thought that was fantastic. In your face, close up, gore. Loved it. It was fun. It was bloody. It was gory. That was my favorite part. When it comes to the face-off, you know, what you've all been waiting for, Laurie against Michael, that is like at the very end of the movie. It's really crappy done. It's really lazy. And Michael ends up basically in the stable and Laurie takes off the mask. We don't even get to see Michael's face. It's all very like awkward and anticlimactic. It's like, there is no tension, there is no fear, there is no nothing, there is no emotions. It was just so bad. And at the end of the movie, they parade Michael through the town to show Haddonfield that the evil is gone. And honestly, at that point already, I was hoping that Laurie was gonna jump with him into this meat grinder and we were just gonna call it quits at this point. But no, they just, you know, they just kill Michael and cool, like, end of story. Corey's also dead, so there's also no new shadow. So like, what was the point of this movie? Nobody knows. Give me a call when you figure it out. Alright guys, I just needed to get some things off my chest. I just need to rant a little bit for a second, for a smidgen. I just didn't get this movie. Didn't feel like Halloween to me. Didn't even feel like a good horror movie either because everything was really messy and all over the place. So yeah, I hope that you enjoyed my spoiler section. I don't do these ones too often, but today, you guys, today I needed to get this off my chest. Let me know, you guys, down below if you've seen the movie, what you thought of it. I mean, if you loved it, it's fine, you know, it's your personal opinion. We're not here to judge. For me, this was really bad. And I'm just like traumatized by how bad this was. I didn't expect to absolutely love it, but I just also didn't expect to see what I saw. Alright, so thank you guys as always so much for your support, and I hope to see you all as always in our next coffee time. Bye!